sounds stupid. Go with it, and I guarantee you they'll respect you for it. And I think that anyone listening to this will thank me for it in the end, because pleasing a wrestler with an interview you did, not somebody who lives next door to you, not your grandmother, an interview you did will mean a lot. And you'll go back and you'll show this to your friends on YouTube, you'll show it to your friends on your website, and you'll say, I did this interview and I did a good job. And I think it's a very satisfying thing to know at the end of the day, not that you went on a show with somebody and screwed up. And if you do screw up, there's always another chance for you. Just because somebody says you're not going to make it doesn't mean you're not. You know, just because Candice Michelle told me my show would go off air and I'd never amount to anything, that didn't mean my show was going off air. That just means that Candice Michelle didn't know what she was talking about. So,
hey, everyone has their own insecurities, though, so that's just, you just got to take it as a grain of salt and move on, you know?
Yeah, I know. And tonight you have Kimberly from Combat Zone Wrestling, so I think this is Kimberly's first interview. I think it is. So she's going to go away from this saying, Dave Calypso, you sound like Ryan Seacrest, but you gave me a good interview.
Yeah, I don't know about the Ryan Seacrest. I've been told by a couple other people I sound like something else, but a different voice nevertheless. But, Jonathan, I definitely appreciate a few minutes of your time. Anything else you want to say before you go off into the rest of your evening?
Well, there's a couple of things I'd like to say, actually. First off,
okay.
I'd like to thank Kimberly for taking the time out of her evening when she goes back in your archives and she listens to this. I'd like to thank her for coming on your show and being 100% professional about doing the interview for you. There's a reason I told you to call Kimberly, and it's because I believe Kimberly's going to give you a good interview, and I think that anyone who takes the time out of their day, like Kimberly's doing for you, to come on your show and talk to you is wonderful. And the people who don't do these interviews are pieces of shit. I'd like to say this. People like Dave and people like me, people like the next guy that's going to start up his own show, to the wrestlers that don't do these interviews, these people like Dave are the people you need to talk to. They're who you need to talk to. Then you sit behind your computer and you say, oh, I'm not booked this month, or oh, I'm not going here. I'm not making anything, because you're not doing the interview. You have to do the interview. You don't sit behind your computer and complain. You take advantage of the open forum you're being presented with, and you make the most of it. And I think that anyone that does deserves a tremendous amount of credit. I think it's wonderful. So definitely thank you to her. I just recently celebrated my 25th birthday, and the response to it on Facebook was absolutely phenomenal, Dave. You yourself wished me a happy birthday, and thank you for that.
Not a problem.
There was a tremendous amount of responses on my Facebook wall. You can pull it up by going to Facebook and typing in Jonathan Clarke. I cannot thank everybody enough for making the 25th anniversary of Jonathan Clarke so memorable and so fantastic. Thank you so much for that. 13 of my 25 years that I've been alive, I have spent them entertaining you in a very different way from what other people do on their radio shows. And I've had the privilege of interviewing a lot of people. And if I were to thank everybody who has made my radio show and my website such a tremendous success, I'd be here all night. So I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'd just like to thank, everybody for making it so phenomenal. And 13 years of my life doing this is something that I have no regrets for doing. I mean, the producer of Monday Night Mayhem was totally against me ever doing this. He said, Jonathan Clarke, you'll never make it. His name was Rick Henderson, and he's a piece of shit for saying it, but he said, you'll never amount to anything. You'll never do it because you don't have the voice for it. You don't know how to ask questions. You're just not going to do it. And here I am, 785 shows in, and I've interviewed virtually everybody there is to interview. And if someone were to come up to me and tell me, 10 years from now you're going to interview JBL, 10 years from now you're going to interview a champion in every organization, 10 years from now you're going to interview Hall of Famers and legends and divas, I'd look at you and say you're crazy. Why I'm here, I don't know. Why I've gotten this far with the radio show that I've done and my website, I don't know. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I can't thank everybody enough for doing it. So, I don't know how to put it into words, but if there's one thing you need to take from this interview is this. You fans are all I had. You fans are all I've ever had and probably all I ever will have. You were all I were left with when my mother died. Mm-hmm. And I realized, well, if you're all I got, then I might as well give it 110% and give you a show that you'll remember. And I hope that long after I'm dead and gone, people will remember me for being that guy that gave it his all. And if he didn't make you happy at the end of the day, he came back the day after and tried to do something to make you go home at the end of the day and turn your radio show off and turn your computer off and say, this guy is cool. Another thing I'd like to say is, despite what Kelly may think of me, I love her for being an entertainer that she is. She's probably been one of the best friends that I've ever had in this business. And I can't thank her enough for supporting me the way she has and giving me someone to talk to through one of the most difficult times of my life 4 years ago. And I hope eventually she wins the Divas title because she's a phenomenal person. Her and her friends helped me. I didn't take them up on their invitation to go down to Jacksonville for Extreme Rules back in '07, but maybe one day she'll meet me. I don't know. But she's been a wonderful friend of mine, and I can't thank her enough. And despite what she may think of me, I love her to death. And thank you, Dave. Thank you for opening up your radio show to me.
Not a problem.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk. This was probably one of the best interviews I've done. This was the shoot interview, if anything. This was great.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Clarke shoots on Mike Modest. Jonathan Clarke shoots on Candice Michelle. Jonathan Clarke shoots on WWE Raw versus SmackDown. This interview...
He shoots on the world.
Jonathan Clarke versus the world tonight on Dave Calypso's radio show.
There you go. But, before I let you go, I just want to say the reason why you made your HEW so successful and why you keep getting successful is because you keep working at it. And if you didn't keep working at it, you wouldn't have a show. The people who don't make an effort, the people don't have an effort, they don't make an effort, nothing gets accomplished. So, thank you for making that effort. And I really appreciate that you came on today for our show. And, John, I know I'll be doing interviews with you, and hopefully you'll be doing more with me.
Great. When's your next show? When is your next show, Dave?
It'll be this upcoming Tuesday on the new platform at unlimitedradio247.com.
All right. Well, I tell you what, anytime you need a co-host or anything, just give me a call in the evening, and I'll help you out with it as much as I can.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for your time, Jonathan.
No problem, and we'll talk to you soon. And Kimberly, and best of luck to you with Kimberly. Let me know how it goes. Call me tomorrow night and let me know how the interview went, Dave.
Will do, sir. Have yourself a good night.
I'll be waiting to hear from you, Dave. Thank you.